In this episode, I want to do something different just for a few minutes. So, a couple of days ago, I received a email. It wasn't a comment posted on YouTube, and he said, you know, tell me your opinion about the election from the perspective as a network engineer and how it can impact us. So, if you do not live in the United States, if you live in a different country and you're watching this video, this past week on November 8th, there was a presidential election in our country. I live in the United States, by the way. And the results were really unexpected. It was like an upset, you call it. So people were very shocked. People were very frantic. They were worried, scared, sad. Many of them were crying. Many of them were angry. And of course, other people were very relieved and happy and, a wide range of emotions that you would expect for any presidential election. Every 4 years, this happens. Okay. And so don't worry. This is not a political video that I'm going to be doing. Okay. Because there's one thing I've always learned, and I think I said this before in a previous episode, or hopefully I did, that there's two things that you do not talk about in a professional setting. You don't talk about politics, and you do not talk about religion. These are very personal things for people. They're very sensitive, okay? This can lead to very heated conversations, and it could impact your career because you could say the wrong thing and now that could be tainted on you. So you don't talk about those things in the professional setting. And for these videos that I'm doing for this channel, for Ask the Network Engineer, this is a professional environment. We're having a professional dialogue between us. So I don't want to talk about the election stuff or my opinions. That's not the place for that. I'm not that person for that. There's a lot of channels that talks about that. Okay. But what I can talk about is looking at this election and how you are as a network engineer in this country. Now, if you do not live in this country, then you can just watch and observe what I talk about in this episode. But I don't want to spend too much time, but I think it's a great question because there's a lot of stuff going on in this country right now. And I figure that it's a good thing to kind of mention how I view this as a network engineer and what impact or no impact that it has. People vote for different reasons. Okay. They vote for based on the economy or something more financial. They vote based on safety or security. They vote based on health and other reasons as well. So I've been a network engineer for about almost 20 years. So that means that I've been a network engineer when there was a Democrat in the White House and when there was a Republican in the White House. And that did not change or impact my career at all. It was the same either way. And I think the big reason for that is that there are a large number of people in this country. There's a lot of people in the working class, okay? Like manufacturing type jobs, as an example, okay? And they're competing for those kind of jobs. So they're angry, they're frustrated because a lot of their jobs are being basically outsourced. It's going basically overseas. They're angry. Their jobs are stagnant. Now, that may not really apply for us as engineers, but you may feel like that. You may say, no, I feel that same pain, what's going on. That's why I voted this particular way. So I noticed that when you have the technical skills, you have the experience, a wide range of skills, you're not really impacted by what happens in an election or within the country itself. You really don't. Because even when the companies, you remember what I talked about before on a different episode that I worked for a startup company. And I said that every week they were doing layoffs of people. And I still had my job. because I had a wide range of experience. They keep people that are experienced around because they can do multiple things. Okay? Plus, if the economy is bad, I can easily apply for different jobs, which is what I did. That people were losing their jobs, and I just basically played my CCIE card and say, hey, I'm a CCIE, I have this experience, I'm gonna apply for jobs. And that's why I got a job interview very quickly and was hired a week later. Okay? That's why it's really important to get certified, to get the experience, a wide range of experience and skills. Be really knowledgeable, have a lot of ammunition, because that will make you more employable. You have better chances of getting a job when the economy is bad. There's always ups and downs in any economy for any country, especially for a large country like the United States, for example. You want to be prepared. And that's what I have learned. And that's kind of what I have been trying to convey in all of these particular videos. That you want to build a career. You want to bust your ass. You got to put in the work. You got to study all the time. Do labs. Not all the time, but you know what I mean. You want to really put in some serious effort to build your career. Make yourself basically invincible. Because when times get tough, and times do get tough, you want to make sure that you are prepared to continue on in your life. And I have personally seen that I have been in a time where the economy was bad. I went through that 2 times in my career as a network engineer. The first time was in 1999, the year 2000, and the other was in basically 2007, 2008. Okay? I survived it. And that's why, and what I've learned is getting that experience and skills. You got to do what you need to do to make that happen. If that requires doing side jobs for free, that's what you're doing. You need to gain the experience, whatever you can. If it means doing side jobs, doing internships, going to the companies and saying, look, can I just help look over the networking team and do while they're doing maintenance windows? Because you can also count that as your experience. You can put down on your resume. Do what you need to do. Reflect that onto your resume, because that will help you as a stepping stone to get you where you need to go. I was not pushed down. I was not bullied. I wanted to be a network engineer. And there were companies that were just trying to pull me back, like Cisco, which I talked about in one other episode. I said, no, Cisco is not going to hold me back. I'm going to do what I need to do because this is what I want to be, as a network engineer. And I did that. So that's why it doesn't matter what the election is, who's in the White House. I understand there's a concern in terms of safety and war and things like that. But again, I'm not that person to talk about that in this episode. I'm talking about this more from a financial perspective. And that is, if you are extremely qualified, you are fine.